coming up on At Your Leisure.
Hi, I'm Chad Booth. Cameron Jorgensen and I are going to discover the connection between Broncos and Indians.
I'm Ryan Sprague, and we get to hop on some classic bikes and ride one of the most beautiful weeks in the country.
And I'm Reese Stein. Coming up, the latest high-tech effort to solve the deer versus car dilemma.
With this many Broncos, you'd think you're at a rodeo, but you're not. Hi, everybody. Welcome to At Your Leisure. I'm Chad Booth.
I'm Cameron Jorgensen. I'm filling in for Rhea.
Cameron, I was just asking, did you sell all these Broncos?
I did not. Wish we did. If we would have been able to get them, maybe.
So we are just going to kind of cover a whole bunch of stuff today. We are down at Fremont Indian State Park. And they're opening a new trail segment, and they decided while they were at it, they wanted to highlight all of the trails and types of trails that are available here. So we pulled some strings. Cameron helped us, and we got Brad Lovell, a well-known racer who is a Bronco guy and was actually involved in the engineering of the new Bronco. And he is going to come break the ribbon on this trail and get us out on the road today. This is kind of a cool event.
Pretty cool, yeah. We're excited.
We have kind of talked about Bronco is as cool as Rover, and the Brits have got nothing on the Bronco. Is there like a snobbery for Bronco owners?
Yeah,
kind of like a Harley sort of thing.
Yeah,
developing?
for sure. We haven't developed our special wave yet, but we're working on it.
Okay, well, we want to find out a little bit about all the trails, the new hiking trail that the state park has opened, and some of the grants and things that have helped really develop this area. And it is the premier riding area. As Jorgensen's will tell you, they're right in the middle of it. 800 plus miles of off-road trails in these mountains, and it would take you your life to cover them all. Have you done it yet?
I have not covered them all, no. Still working on it.
Okay, let's find out about the park.
And our previous state park director, Fred Hayes, had a philosophy called the MORE philosophy. More people having more fun and more parks more often. And we did that. And if you haven't been to state parks in 10, 12 years, now you're going to find zip lines and floating playgrounds and overnight lodging that we never had before. Traditionally they were just campgrounds. Here at Fremont Indian State Park, we have a pit house, an Indian pit house that you can stay in overnight. And as you come up to it, it looks like just a pile of mud, but you walk into it and it's like walking into a luxury hotel room. There's heating, there's cooling, there's so many new things in our state parks. And the idea is we want to attract more people. We want families to come, and there's something for everyone.
So we have some great opportunities with some new trails here in this area. We just completed some information panels along those trails, which will give you a lot of really good information while you're out hiking and looking for rock art panels. So the Canyon of Life Trail is right off the roadway, has easy access. It is a gravel surface, so it doesn't meet some of the wheelchair requirements, but most everybody can hike it, not steep grades, and it's less than a quarter mile long for the whole loop. So we've got a really neat rock art image up there that has been interpreted as something to do with the solar calendar. We've had some astroastronomy archaeologist individuals coming in, and they've been doing some study on that as the different equinoxes come, and they've actually determined that the sun follows the movement of that panel.
What makes Fremont Indian State Park unique and special is we have it all. We have historic, we have prehistoric, we have archaic even. We have several archaeological sites. We have rock art imagery. There's actually over 3,000 recorded rock art panels in our state park alone. Not to mention the canyon. We offer camping, we offer the OHV trails and stuff like that. So you have to spend a few days because we have a lot to offer and we offer it all.
So Kevin was telling me about the pit house that you can rent and stay in overnight. But I knocked on the door, somebody was there. So just to give you an idea, this is a mock-up they have inside where you can climb in, have a powwow, peel some corn cobs, and then climb out the top. Isn't that fun? We'll be back with more at your leisure. Right now it's time for us to go to our first story of the day.
There's nothing like getting the bike out and riding in beautiful scenic places. And thanks to Rabbit from the Washington Tunex and with help from his friend Steve Garrett, they organized such an event. And if you come out as winner during the bike rodeo, you will leave with some great prizes and maybe even some bragging rights.
There's a lot of stuff with the Panguitch Old School MC Rally that we're bringing it back to the old school. It's about the people that come. It's about supporting the town and the community and making it for the bikers and something that is a traditional event.
We probably have 500 plus this year. Next year we'll probably almost double that or more. We get them from California, Wyoming, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, Texas, Colorado. They come from a long ways away.
Absolutely it has, yes. We've seen a lot of love from our biker community. So we sell the chocolate chip cookies, so we keep the sugar flowing for them. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of activities that go on, such as their little chicken bingo, the bike derby, and the poker runs are a lot of fun. So you be able to create a sense of community amongst the biker community and get to meet new people.
Although not known by many, the Panguitch area holds the reputation for holding some of the most beautiful riding in the country. The loop starts in Panguitch and takes you through Navajo Lake and Bryan Head Resort.
It was great. I loved it. It was a little cool, which I like. It's hot back here, but scenic. Didn't find any deer. Me personally, it's my therapy. I don't need to go lay on some guy's couch and talk about my problems. I just throw a leg over my bike and go for a ride.
And we were invited a couple weeks ago to come up here to this event, the Old School Motorcycle Rally. We were down at Zion Harley-Davidson doing an event down there, and the organizers asked us to come up today. We'd like to be out and just minister to our fellow motorcyclists.
The time that it takes to put into this event is ongoing. It never stops. We've already started planning next year's event to make it bigger and better and do more things. And we're listening to input from the bikers that are coming in to put all of this together. And like I said, it's about the people in the community. It's not about Steve and myself. It's putting it in and making things come together for them.
With At Your Leisure at the Old School Motorcycle Rally, I'm Ryan Sprague.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure, commemorating a new trail section, discovering a little bit about Fremont Indian State Park, the Paiute Trail, and talking about Broncos. Cameron is here with a special guest, our next Bronco expert, Quinn Jorgensen. How are you, Quinn?
Good.
Good. I want to talk about Broncos. You know, we were just having a chat. You know, when the Broncos first came out, that first EJS that they showed up at, and they were new from the factory, they had a couple of little new model issues. Tell me about that, because people are still telling me today about it, and yet these things are selling like hotcakes.
Yeah, they had a steering linkage issue. When it would get on a bind, it would bend up the steering and stuff. They've got that fixed. Kind of like in their R&D, early R&D, and now it's been really good, and everybody has had a great time with them. So
you know, I always figured that the reason that they had that problem in the first place is that they designed them in Detroit, and this isn't Detroit.
Yeah, this is definitely not Detroit for sure. This is not the the pavement area of the world for sure.
Is this really a capable off-road?
Oh yeah, for sure.
How would you compare it to other vehicles out there, like a Jeep or anything?
Well, it's very similar in the sense that it's got high ground clearance, a lot of suspension, and then obviously one of the big things is all of the aftermarket accessories that you can put on them. And one of the biggest things that sets it apart from other off-road vehicles is that it's got an independent front suspension, so it actually runs down the highway really good. It's really nice. It runs a lot better than Jeep. We don't like to compare it just because it's not our thing, but as far as the way it runs, with it having a little EcoBoost in it with a little turbo, they get out on the road and go.
What do you like about yours the best?
I just like the ability to make it your own, change it, add bumpers, all the accessories, light bars, all the stuff. It kind of sets it apart from
you Jorgensens kind of have a reputation for that because, you know, I've seen what you do with paint jobs on razors, and I mean, you guys all put your unique footprint on.
Yeah, it's been fun that Ford has finally created a vehicle that has the emotion like in the powersport industry. So it's really quite fun.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for today because, to be honest with you, I haven't had a chance to ride in one yet.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
You'll be surprised. It's really good.
We're going to be back with a little bit more of At Your Leisure in just a minute. We're going to get out on the trail, and we'll be with the experts when Brad Lovell leads us on a trail ride. See you in a few minutes. Welcome back to At Your Leisure. This is like a big part of the day. If you have memorized in your subconscious brain Baja and Bronco, you probably know this guy. This is Brad Lovell. He's the proud owner of this little baby and a few other competition trucks, and he is an off-road racer. And this area of Utah holds a special appeal to you, doesn't it, Brad?
It certainly does. I've spent a lot of time exploring Utah. You know, before I raced, my first race was in the St. George area. It was a rock crawl years and years ago. And, you know, we've done development trips with the new Ford Bronco through this area.
So I want to talk to you about this rig. Tell me a little bit about this.
Well, this Bronco is pretty special to us. Years ago, I wanted to go do a race called the Nora 1000 that goes down the whole Baja Peninsula. So I did it with one of my friends, Boyd Janes, in a Bronco. And I figured, you know what, this is about the coolest thing there is in the world. So the next year, we bought this Bronco, which we had raced against, and it crashed along the way. So it was all bent up and kind of a total mess. My brother and I fixed it all up and raced it the next year. And we've gone on to win our class 3 times down there and had a ton of fun with this Bronco. But this guy here is pretty special because when they were designing the new Ford Bronco out of clay molds and everything, they have this big design studio, and it's right where the first Ford Broncos were designed and reviewed. And this vehicle got to go back and be in the studio when they were cutting the molds for the new one. So maybe there's a little bit of inspiration from this Bronco in the new ones, and I get to go back there and see it in the studio, but they wouldn't at all let me take pictures, so it's nothing more than a great memory.
So, I mean, you do a lot of trail events that aren't really races. What's your motivation?
Well, I was a trail wheeler, a recreational user before I got into racing, and racing is all immersive, and it's been a great career, continues to be a great career. But when I'm done with that, I'm going back to trail riding. And you know, my kids just took their first trip out to Utah here a couple weeks ago, and there's this whole voyage of exploration, and that's what I find most enjoyable about off-road motorsports. It's not going right to the top, cutthroat competition. It's the whole journey from, you know, having a vehicle that's capable of going on gravel and seeing some places that maybe you didn't see before, to doing hardcore rock crawling trails that Utah is full of. What I love about doing trails like this, we can look at the mountains from down in the valley, but getting up in here, you're seeing stuff that you wouldn't otherwise see. There's a pond, a creek, a grove of trees. That's what I love so much.
See, you're like the Renaissance man because you are the high-speed guy, But you also you're a meanderer.
Well, yeah, and I love all aspects of off-roading. We have a spec trophy truck. We go really fast in that. I have also a 43 Willys Jeep that we did a 750-mile off-road trip in, and it was really challenging. But why did we do it? Because it was a challenge.
And probably I would have given anything to do that. Well, that would have been fun.
Well, we're wanting to come out here into Utah more to do that. We've done from Colorado Springs to Moab, a bunch in western Colorado. Next chapter is going to be from Moab West.
You know what? I've got a neighbor that's got a 42 Ford Jeep.
Awesome.
He probably on a Sherman tank, I might add.
Okay.
But I don't think he'll bring the tank.
Well, those GPWs, I really wanted one of those, and I actually got my Willys Jeep from a guy who was making room for a tank in his collection.
Well, we are going to take a break here and go off to our next story, and we'll be back with you in a minute with more of this excellent ride out of Fremont Indian State Park with Brad Lovell.
I'm Reese Stein at your leisure in Eagle Mountain in Utah County, where the wildlife guys are going high-tech in their latest effort to solve the car versus deer dilemma. On this busy stretch of Highway 73 west of Saratoga Springs, 1,200 deer cross during their annual migrations. Some don't make it. Nearly 5,000 deer are known killed by vehicles every year in Utah, amounting to tens of millions of dollars in damage and medical expenses. Signs alone don't always work. Maybe this will.
This is like brand new technology. This is the first time this has ever been used in Utah.
Tim Hazelhurst has installed a critter detection system at the busy crossing. It includes the sign, but also new technology.
So in this case, we're using thermal cameras with analytics to detect wildlife as they're approaching the edge of the road. And as soon as we pick them up, we turn on lights down the road to warn motorists both ways that an animal's crossing.
The camera is mounted on a high pole at the approach to the gap in the roadside fencing.
Right now we have fence on both sides of the road, and we have about a 60-foot gap in the fence that we put in to allow for the migration to continue.
Cameras linked to large flashing warning signs on the highway are programmed to detect only deer-sized animals.
In this case, we're mostly concerned with larger animals that cause people to either steer off the road or really damage their cars. So we're filtering out the smaller animals at this point and only triggering the signs when it's something knee-high, about 20 inches at the shoulder or higher.
The $200,000 cost of the new system is shared by DWR, UDOT, and Eagle Mountain, and is movable to any needed location around the state. But this is just a temporary fix. Eventually, a wildlife underpass will allow the animals free passage and, more importantly, keep drivers on Highway 73 safe.
It's really exciting just where this is it's new technology, it's new, it's never been used in Utah. It's exciting to see if it'll work here.
Reese Stein at your leisure along the way in Eagle Mountain.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure down at Fremont Indian State Park for their big trail dedication and ribbon cutting. What a fun day we've had. We've been hoofing it, we've been hanging out with the ponies, the Broncos, and we've been on a ride. It all happened all at once. The only problem is that I don't know what happened to Cameron. He was out on the trail with us, and He disappeared. So hopefully he's not in trouble, but I will save him a piece of cake. All right, let's get on to the things you're going to see ahead. Let's check out our next week's show. Hey, next week, Rhea and I are meeting up with Captain Ray down at North Lake Powell Adventures. He is going to show us something about the town of Tickaboo that almost nobody knows about. Some exciting changes that you as recreationists will want to be a part of. Then, Reese Stein is in search of the best fish ever, and it's going to take him to Mill Hollow Reservoir to spend the day with DWR showing you all that this great area has to offer. Finally, how about an under-hood onboard welder? We'll take a look at the install and review on this one-of-a-kind welding system with Phil Rollins. Now, let's take a look at our calendar of events. First up, September 14th, our journey takes us back to the annual event at Torrey, Utah, as we keep the September 11th Memorial Ride alive. Every year, we team up with the folks at Stedman's for the Ride to Remember, the Red, White, and Road of 2024. You'll be treated to gourmet hamburger dinners from Eat a Burger. Oh, it's the best stuff in the world. Then, September 19th and 20th is the Manti Mountain Fall Run, which is a great way to get your machine out on the famous Arapeen Trail System. Visit MantiATVRun.com for more information. And don't forget to visit our events page at AYLTV.com to stay up to date on all the great jamborees and off-road and outdoor events that happen throughout the year. In the 2+ decades we've been doing this show, I've had so much fun meeting all of you. It is phenomenal. Special thanks today to the staff and administration of State Parks. You guys rock it. Appreciate it, Jeff. Thank you, Scott. And I want to thank Mr. Race Car here. I've learned some technique today that I didn't know. And Kevin, you got a great park here. Thanks. So come on down, explore this park, and get out into the entire park system and fully enjoy it. So, like we always say, there's adventure around every bend.
You just got to get out there and create your own.
Exactly. At your leisure. All right, you get the mountain bikes, you got your hiking shoes on, we got the Broncos, let's go.
All right.